Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Dead Cells. The game where blood, guts, flames, poison, it all gets splattered over the screen right as we die. Much like my wedding night. Wow, that was very strange. That was honestly the strangest, most inappropriate thing I think I've ever uttered or even considered uttering anywhere at any time, to be honest. Not even just on screen or for the internet or anything, just ever. History in the making, folks. Feel sorry for all those people who missed it, because there are a lot of them. Anyway, we're back. I've even got a fresh pot of coffee. We've got a non-synergistic electric whip primary run going on here, which you can do the math yourself, is probably not long for this world, but we'll give it a go anyway. This is our last set of Dead Cells. I hate to break it to you, but oh, here we go. Throw this in brutality again. Everything goes brutality. We'd love to get some, fill out the roster with brutality weapons here. Like, come on, people. The whip ignoring shields is kind of a nice little bonus that I don't think gets enough respect. Can't get enough respect. There's a topic I want to go off on today, and it's something I had forgotten about, and then was talking about some chocolate almonds I had found the other day, and it kind of brought back these horrendous memories of I'm sure everyone remembers in school. I think they would anyway. I think it was fairly commonplace, the whole fundraising thing, right? You'd have to do whatever latest gimmick the teachers thought might make some money for various clubs, which for some reason wasn't funded by the government in the first place. Extra stuff, I guess. And we've got a few of them that we have to do now. One thing that we don't have to do very much, and I'm glad for it because I did so much of it as a kid and I hated it, was selling chocolates and stuff like that. There was a phase when I was out of school, thankfully, and my kids weren't fundraising yet, but everyone else was around town was peddling these peddling these pizza kits, and they were good, but they were pretty expensive, and they're probably terrible for you. But I remember buying one and think, oh god, I don't miss those days. And then eating those chocolate covered almonds the other day. Oh my god, so many memories came back of walking around town, trying to secret around here somewhere, I'm sure, this way, trying to convince people to pay $2 or $3 for a 56-gram box of chocolate covered almonds, and for a box at $3, box of almonds, 50 some gram. Maybe there was more than that. The quantity might have been more, but it seemed like you only got, some were just kind of average tasting. You get a couple that were bad, and only a handful that were just like out of this world good chocolate to almond ratio. Made you just kind of in your mouth as you bit into it. And for $3, I expect them pretty much to all be top-notch bangers at that point. That's a lot of money, but they never were. And I remember one time I still have this vivid memory of trying to sell these chocolates and going with my friends, and we're walking to this apartment complex, and it's just this is small town Canada still. It's the same town I'm in now. And so it's not a very big I say complex, but I mean it's like there were like maybe 8 units, like 8 apartments in this building, and there was 2 or 3, probably 3 of us, because we were trying to figure out how we were going to divvy up the building fairly, right? Because when you think about it, we're really in competition with each other, and the pie is only so big in this community that you can't. You send these poor kids out peddling the same crappy chocolate to everybody, and there's only so many people, right? and what percentage of those people actually want the crappy chocolate, or actually want to support the school? And that's where, like, I'm at the point, for my own purposes, where I would rather just hand the kid a $20 bill, you know? Bring this to your, or give it to the school, I guess. Don't bother me with this stuff. Don't make me sell for, or make my kids sell, which in translation is just, you know, the parent, even as detached as they might be, and they should be, because the kid's fundraising. Nothing I hate more than the kid fundraising and the adult brings all the stuff into the workplace, right? Buy all this stuff, sign this sheet and pledge for this, or buy this child. It's like, no, the kid's sitting at home playing Xbox, and it's like the parent is peddling the, how's our time here? Time's a little behind for my liking, especially considering how weak we are, but yeah, then the adult's peddling the stuff that the kid is supposed to be peddling, and it's like, that drives me crazy. But I have this vivid memory of, what do we want? I'm going to assume that we're going to get a synergy eventually, so we'll throw it on here. Looking for bleed and burn. Trying to divvy up this apartment, and this totally as clear as day, this remembering the realization, the flood of realization that washed over me that was like, this is stupid. Like, you're making me and my friends actively dislike each other because, you know, we don't want to give up. No one wants to take the small share of the apartment building here. You know, we all want the lion's share, not because we want to get. Oh, this damage is horrible. But it's all because we want to just be done. We want to get, you know, the first question we would ever ask when we got a thing of chocolates is, what is our minimum? What are you expecting us to do? The minimum amount that we are going to have to do. Because guess what? That's all we're going to be able to do. And I was coming out of the tail end of sort of the boom time, and when people actually had money in this town. And and it wasn't even us fighting over it. That was the straw that broke my back, so to speak. That was a part of it. I went into that apartment building with dead cells. Makes my nose itch every time. Every time. I apologize. Some coffee here too. That's good. It made me go into that building with a bad attitude towards the whole thing, probably because we're bickering over who's, you get that door, I get this door, and well, no, you get 4 doors and I get 2, and that's not fair. Oh man, just bad times. I'm just trying to get our minimum amount done. Then, to top it all off, in that apartment complex, we meet back up after the fact. Or no, we ended up partnering up somehow. I don't remember how we expected to do it, but anyway, we're at the door, and we come back down, and the other kid comes back. Oh, how many did you sell? Blah blah blah. Did you go to that door? Oh yeah, no, we're not allowed to go to that door because they told me that we're taking business away from, insert the local grocery store, right? This isn't like not a chain. It's like a local family run thing. It's been family run for, however long. And she doesn't agree with it, us selling this stuff, because it takes away business from, insert local grocery store chain. Not even chain, just local independent grocer. And it's like, I remember that was the moment where the realization flooded over me, like, this is stupid. Like, we're fighting, my friends and I are fighting each other, and now the parents, not even the parents, but the adults are also fighting us. Like, I can understand you just don't want it, I'm tired, don't bother me, kid, I just don't want any, fine. But to say that we're taking away, like, I don't even want to be here, and you're going to go and tell us that we're taking away business from, multi-million-dollar, or at least by local standards, extremely well-off, family X that has been, selling overpriced bags of chips for the last 50 years. Like, really, that's what you're going to tell me is, oh my God. I just, as clear as day, I remember that feeling of, this is stupid. I don't want to be doing this anymore. And this is like grade 5 or 6, I guess. Oh man, just horrendous memories of that. And then funnily enough, I don't remember having to do much after that. I don't remember how we ended up fundraising for our grade 8 trip. There we go. Finally, we're way behind schedule now. I don't even think we'll make this door. Fog Fjord door should be fine, but this one might be closed on us, but there's no scrolls in it. Oh, we still have a whole minute. Wow. I thought it was a 15-minute time on that one. Yeah, see, so we got about 100. Usually it's over 100, so we're a little short there. Probably didn't kill as many enemies along the way. But yeah, look at this list. It's just I'm working my way through it pretty substantially. Down into the weapons here. This should make getting every weapon now, basically, just better. No matter what we start with, it should be improved. And that'll be nice. Well, we're working there anyway. How many more? Oh, there's still a few more weapons. I was using these boots on a fire combo. Amazing. Didn't know that they were so good. Then we have our throwing ranged weapons to do. There's still a substantial amount there. And then our shields, of course, because we never use these, but we're working our way through. Do we want to switch? Let's try to put together a run here. Can we put together something? This is extra damage on us. Extra damage on a frozen target. That's positive. Extra damage on a burning target. Well, you know what? As ridiculous as it sounds, do we maybe want to walk in with this? Boom, and then boom. I don't know. Critical hit when your health is low. Do we want to reformulate any of these? No, not yet. Not yet. Maybe later. But yeah, then as we went, I don't remember how we fundraised for grade 8. Maybe I just... Oh, we did firewood, I think. I remember doing that. That was good. I have this memory that I was like this malcontent, but it's only my personality is to remember only the bad things, I guess. So I remember getting in trouble in that and having this feeling of guilt in that as well. And that one I know wasn't my fault. I had done, like we were all expected to do a certain number of shifts of delivering the firewood, right? Reasonable, everyone's got to put in their time. I just remember at one point asking, oh my God, am I done yet? Can I go now? And I'd put in like a double or 2.5 shifts where everyone else had just done their one. And the teacher, I remember turning to me, and this is way back in the day, right? Like we were allowed to drive around in the back of a pickup truck. And we're in the back of the pickup truck, and the teacher's with us. And I said, am I done now? Is this my last one? And the teacher just looks at me and says, Broman, I've had enough of your whining. Get out of here. This one, you're done. And then after that, oh my God, I felt so bad. I felt like, oh no, I'll do another. I'm sorry. No, go, blah, blah, blah. After the fact, after she said this in front of me, in front of everybody in the truck with me, she comes and says, oh, I didn't realize. No, you're right. You've been here since 4 o'clock, and it's now 6:37. These are supposed to be hour shifts. Yeah, you've done your time. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. And it's like, you know what? It's nice that you came and apologized. And she may have done it in front of. I don't think she specifically did it. This is unfortunate because I'd like to take both of these. I don't think she purposely, to cover her tracks, apologized in private. There might have been a couple of people, but there was a lapse of time where I just felt like absolute garbage for having been spoken to like that. And then she later came and did apologize. And it just goes to show, even though I was in the right, after all this time, I still have this amazing, ridiculous feeling of guilt over that, right? Oh, and this desire to not be a complainer, and it's amazing how that sticks with you. Maybe it's just my personality. I have maybe a neurotic personality or something, but it's incredible how open to suggestion and malleable kids are. And this is not even a kid. Well, you're still a kid, but grade 8, you should be starting to form a bit of an identity by then. And maybe that's something that went, at least in part towards making the neurotic identity that I am now. If she had just said, oh, right, on the spot had said, "Oh, Broman, I didn't realize that you have been here since 4. Yeah, for sure, you can be done after this one." No, the initial reaction, and granted, for her part, she was probably been there since 4 as well, and was also tired and ready to be done. There's a bit of a synergy here with the stun. I don't know if I want to roll Nutcracker as a primary. I think we'll roll like this, because then I can freeze and then get the damage out of this sword. It's got to be some kind of a logic there, right? I'm thinking. But yeah, so that was, I think, the grade 8 fundraising experience. Also not very good. Not just me. I think it's not just me being a malcontent, but rather was a legitimate sort of. Why is my HP so high? Because I've got 3 survival because of an amulet. Wow. Something to take into consideration, I think. But yeah, that, this sort of self-imposed image of myself I have of being a malcontent when it comes to these sort of group activities, right? And when you try to piece together, well, why am I a bit of a recluse now, and things like that. It's kind of hurting my actual professional life, which it is. Work is certainly being impacted by my personality right now, and you realize it doesn't take a fancy clinical psychology degree to piece together some very basic observations about my childhood and where I'm at now, and sort of my skepticism and hesitancy to be involved in certain group type things and popularity contest type things, right? It all matters. It all adds up, and it's all significant. And yeah, while definitely not bound by this stuff, I could, identifying the problem or the tendency is probably like a significant portion of the battle towards overcoming it or changing it. I don't know. It's not that easy all the time, and I was predicting him to be there. Could have sworn I hit the friggin'. End result was fine, but it wasn't as pretty as I wanted it to be. Do we want to switch this? This is more damage. Yeah, probably. I think it fires faster also. Oh, but it doesn't freeze. It slows. That's different. This freezes. And I get 175% on a damage. It freezes. Yeah, it's a little bit too funny. It's probably the wrong play mathematically and at a higher level, but I think for me, it's probably the right play. But yeah, so just eating that chocolate brought back all this stuff about, right? First it was about the chocolate, that led into other fundraising, and then it's like, well, like I say, it's not hard to see why you are the person that you are now, or it's not hard to see some of the things that probably contributed in some way to being, the version of yourself that you are today. I don't want to fall into that trap where it's just like blame all my problems on X, and if people had treated me better, then I'd be a better person, and blah blah blah, right? Well, there's definitely some truth to that, but I've kind of identified this stuff before, certain other parts, and haven't been able to do anything substantial about it. So to hell with me, right? No, but seriously, folks, a fire grenade, really? I cursed myself for a fire grenade. Extra damage. I don't want to take extra damage. Usually those curse chest items always are. I just take them for the extra scroll anyway. Only down to 8 now. But yeah, and then in high school, I think that's when you start to see how how all the effects were really kind of already in place, and that's where we start to see, the things that really the beginnings of the end for me. Again, I wouldn't say that I'm not in such bad shape that to really justify that kind of language, but there are certain, strengths or very strong parts of my personality that are geared towards the outcast or malcontent type personality. By default, right? There are times I'm able to overcome that, so to speak. Ooh, look at a scroll, buddy. But my first instinct is always to go down the sort of malcontent path. And that's one of the reasons why. And high school, you can start to see it, because I don't have any fundraising stories from high school, because I was not involved in any organized anything in high school or university. Right? So you see that sort of abrupt change as soon as you have the little Broman in the back of the pickup truck, being reamed out by the teacher he actually kind of liked. Actually, that's a good story for another video, because to just talk about that teacher a little bit, and sort of the reality check that I had just recently, about that teacher, and how it kind of jades your memory, and what is an old man if not this collection of his memories. But yeah, and then so sitting in the back of the pickup truck, different times. You get reamed out by the teacher, and then the next year it's like, what, organized things just aren't for me. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like how people respond to me in them. And it was just a perfect sort of storm, right? Again, I don't blame the teacher necessarily. Obviously she has to own her own actions, but it's the perfect storm, right? My own personality is not one that I think are we gonna go? Yeah, we'll roll this way. My own personality is not one that bodes well for something like that, because I was quiet. So I was there at 4 o'clock. I was told to show up, and I waited further instruction. Everyone else was leaving. I guess no one told them to leave. They just said, this is enough. Now it's time to go. Or the parents would come and say it's time to go. Whereas my parent took a more laissez-faire approach, and was, which I appreciated in every other way. But in this way, maybe was a bit damaging to me. The parent would come and say, okay, time's up. You're coming home now. It's supper time. So kids were leaving, and I'm still there. I don't say anything. I just keep going on another run. Oh, new address. This address needs 3 truckloads. New address. Next thing you know, it's 6:30, and I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. Am I done now? Can I go? I'm sick of your whining. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't know what, can you give me some direction here? And so yeah, like the personality just wasn't there to stand up for myself, say, it's time to go. I'm hungry. It's my supper time. I can come back. I can do another day, but right now I need to be consuming plant and animal life to continue my existence. And so, and then a year later in high school, it's, you kind of get that chance at the reset, and you can either reset in a new set of organize this and institutionalize that, and build a strong athletic and club involved character, or you can hit the reset and say, what, I'm out. Right? Like I say, I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way people talk to me doing this kind of stuff. Don't want it. And actually, there's another story there from early high school years that I can talk that really cemented that. And we'll get into that in the next video. But until then, thanks very much. See you soon.